Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. The former Olympian and world champ, I think he was, Pat Brown, 25 years old, cruiserweight. He made his debut on a DAZN card, a matchroom card, and he fought Federico Grandone of Argentina. And you would think, well, this is his debut. No, they're not going to give him any killer, are they? They're going to put him in there with a guy who might take him a few rounds and that'll be it. But this was a really entertaining fight. It was stopped in the fourth round, rightly so, in favour of Brown, who was just, too young, too fresh, too good. I mean, Brown is a 6'6" cruiser. Like I say, 25 years old, he might well end up at heavyweight. Grandone from Argentina, only 6'1", 33 years of age. He came in with a 7-4-2 record, and he'd been stopped twice. And he's got three stoppage wins in the wins column. But you thought, stop twice, Brown will get him out of there in a couple of rounds. It's more of an introduction to the sport rather than anything. Not a bit of it. I mean, Grandone came to fight. He really did, and he was second best. He looked visibly smaller, not just 5 inches shorter, but probably at least a stone lighter in terms of natural weight. And he gave Brown a good old row. He came all the way from Argentina to fight. It was stopped in the fourth round after. Well, to be honest with you, it should have been stopped after 3 rounds. The corner should have pulled their guy out because the Argentinian was taking a right old battering. But he was throwing punches. He was landing a few punches flush on Brown's, on his head, on the head, jaw. It was all. He was touching Brown. And this shows that the pros are different to the amateurs. It's not about scoring points. It's about scoring meaningful, meaty punches. And Grandone did do a little bit of that, but it was essentially not one-way traffic. But it was the rounds were clearly won by Brown. Clearly, he's a more talented fighter. He looked better schooled. He had a better variety of punch. His footwork was better. Grandone, when he did fire punches, they were, huge swinging, hard punches, but not the most refined, shall we say. Was Brown, when he let his hands go, there was good variety. Worked the body very well. That was impressive from Brown. You would expect this of an Olympian, of a guy who is, has been at the top echelons of the amateur game. And this was a good fight for Brown because, again, the risk of repeating myself, Grandone was there to ask a few questions, and Brown answered them. Now, it's interesting, after 3 rounds, Brown went back to the corner. It wasn't huffing and puffing, but he was like taking a few big, deep breaths. And that's a good sign because it means this is his first pro fight. He's not going to rest on his laurels. He's not going to think, well, I'm the big I am. I've got the nice, glittering amateur career, and now I'm a pro, and I've got matchroom and DAZN behind me. So all I have to do is go through the motions in the gym, turn up and win. No. This is the type of fight that you want a young guy who's, growing in every respect. I mean, I don't think at 25, Brown is as big as he's going to be. Give him another 3 years, he might be a heavyweight, 6'6". You never know. Could eventually work his way up to 220. I think he weighed about 204 for this, something like that. 205. And I liked what I saw from Brown, definitely. Like I say, the way he threads his punches through, there is a smoothness to it that you would expect from an established, decorated amateur. Whereas Grandone is, a very, very tough man, but just doesn't have the skills, probably not the talent. Maybe, I don't know how old he was when he turned pro. He said prior to the fight, Grandone, that he's always been match tough, even though I think all but one of his previous fights were in Argentina. He'd fought in I think Uruguay as well. But he said, I've always been on the back end of the card, the right hand side of the card, if you like. In fact, now that he's 7 wins, 5 defeats, and 2 draws. All 5 of his defeats have come in his last 5 fights. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe Eddie Hearn sitting ringside was probably thinking, this guy's not meant to be this tough. He is tough, but no one's doing him any favours. And he'll probably go down the journeyman route and he'll earn a few quid because he's a tough guy who gives everything. But at 33, Be a bit careful. I wouldn't want to see him take too much punishment, because that, after the third round, when the third round ended, he could barely stagger back to his corner. And his facial expression and his body language, he'd taken a battering, especially the body punches were really meaty from Brown. And I was thinking that they should put him out, or the ref should put him out. And even when he got trapped on the ropes and the ref gave him a standing 8, I thought the ref should, Sargentson it was, Darren Sargentson was the ref. I thought he should stop this now. But he did eventually. So Grandone earned his money and gave his all, and that's all any of us can do. For Brown, where's he going? More learning fights. I think he does. I think he was hit a bit too much in this fight by some swinging punches. It's not like the guy was a sharpshooter and being crafty. Brown was a little bit too cavalier, a little bit too front-footed, a little bit too stand on the line and swap punches. Brown was definitely loading up at times as himself. This was a 6-rounder. Give him another couple of 6-rounders, move him up to 8, 10, and so on. At 25, I've got no problem at all with him going down the traditional route. English, maybe area English, British, Commonwealth, European, world. Why not do it that way? He's got time. He doesn't have to be fast-tracked. And I wouldn't fast-track him. Because if a good, tough guy like Federico Grandone can give him good work in his debut, get him up to 12-0 and then make a move. Give him go the traditional route. I mean, Frank Warren has done this for decades with fighters, and it always works, or it nearly always works. And whenever he's tried to fast track people like Anthony Yard and even Daniel Dubois to start with, didn't quite work out. The calculated gambles didn't pay off. So there is no substitute for the old route, in my opinion. But what do you think? You tell me what you think about Brown's performance. Excuse me. And where would you match him with now? It's very difficult to say, isn't it? Because he's right at the start of his career. But would you give him an area title fight next? Maybe it's 10-rounder, or have another couple of undercard 6-8 rounders. Maybe get him up to 5-6-0 and then go for an area or an English level belt. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what you think. Were you impressed? What do you think he needs to work on? All the usual stuff. I'll give your comments a read and reply to as many as I can. And as always, thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Many, many thanks as always, and bye for now.